How short of a leash will Mendoza have considering Cohen's comments in his statement to the fans?
So the thing about baseball managers is it is easier to let a baseball manager go during the year if things don't shape up. And even though I did say earlier that I am glad that Carlos Mendoza didn't get fired, and Will Salmon, friend of the show, posted on Twitter, and it was in an article on The Athletic, Carlos Mendoza is the first Mets manager in the last 5 to get a third year.
That's pretty crazy, actually.
That's my and like we know the managers and why they were fired, but we need to change the concept that because there is a bad year, that means the manager is fired. Now, here with the payroll that Steve Cohen is supporting, with the expectations surrounding this roster and the need to win now and in the future, if they go ahead and do this again next year, then it's a tougher pill. You can't pull off 2 bad seasons after one really good one. But look, the leash, if it's like a lot of 2025, Carlos Mendoza might not make it all the way through 2026. And I don't want this to turn into, and I know it's going to, so I have to just prepare myself. I have months to prepare. Anytime he makes a bad decision, everyone's just going to scream that he needs to be fired.
That happened to Terry Collins.
It did. And Terry ultimately, spent a long time here and brought the Mets to the World Series. And a lot of people forget because Terry is so beloved. You saw it at the Alumni Classic game, and we saw it in spring training.
Oh my God, the line of people for him.
No one could care less that you and I were sitting there. Terry Collins was there, so the line was.
I didn't care that you were there. I wanted to talk to Terry the whole show.
Yeah. I wasn't offended either, Connor. I wasn't offended. But look, Terry's beloved, but a lot of people forget there was a lot of time where people wanted Terry Collins out of here. They didn't like the way he managed. So I want us to collectively, as a Mets fan group, let's all be upset today. It's warranted. Let's reconvene in the spring, and let's not have it where every decision is either it works or the guy should be fired. But Carlos Mendoza, without a shadow of a doubt, has to have a better year in 2026 than in 2025.
Right. I think they believe that he's closer to the 2024 version, and that when things spiraled this year, he fell into it rather than let it. And I think that's fair. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to be totally honest. If they had a great plan for who their next manager was, I would have totally understood if they moved on from Mendoza. But they might look around and maybe they didn't have that plan. Or maybe they looked at it and said, man, like we saw this guy fight through adversity once already. And this year, it's you know what you have to tip your cap to? And I know people are very mixed on how they feel about David Stearns. And I know there's people that listen to our show, but one thing they probably are frustrated by is you and I are big David Stearns fans. And it's okay to have different opinions on things. And we've had 1 year of David Stearns making a lot of great moves. We have 1 year of him having a really bad year. That's the reality. So you could argue that both sides are right. But Joe, keeping Mendoza is, in my opinion, Stearns saying, no, the problems with the team this year actually are on me, not with Carlos. And I think you do have to it would have been easy for David Stearns, who's on a monster contract with the New York Mets, to go to Steve Cohen and say, hey, we need a new manager. It wasn't good enough this year. Because that kind of deflects some of the attention from your shortcomings. And he didn't do that. So I hope the accountability from this entire the guys at the top of this organization is a positive sign.